sir. We're back, guys. We are back, guys. You walk in. Please make sure you hit that like button. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button. Please make sure you hit that notification bell on the right hand side. Remember to click all because we do go live each and every day at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Like always, shout out to everybody that's watching us all across the board. Like always, thank you for tuning in to Cal Country Radio. It is Turned Up Monday. First like Monday, actually. Akeem Jordan, what's cracking like? What's cracking like? And what is cracking like?
Man, you already know another year, and we're gonna take it this year.
Hey man, I'm feeling good over here, man. I can't complain. Had a good weekend with the family, man, and we about to get it on as we always do with my brother. So let's go, let's go, let's go, let's get it.
Like always, shout out to everybody that's watching us all across the board: Facebook, Instagram, Kick, and also Twitch. Make sure you follow us over here. Important for you guys to follow us so you never miss it when we go live. Shout out to those right now watching us at Rumble and also X, TikTok, Bingo Live. Thank you guys so very much. Each and every time we go live, you guys are always the first one in the building. And also shout out to the lovely, pretty Evelyn Perez that's in the building. She said hi to you, and hi to everyone right now watching us all across the world. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. Like always, shout out to Hakeem. His birthday was on Friday. That's the only reason why we didn't go live. So you guys probably were saying, what happened? It was Hakeem's birthday. We were celebrating. We wish him many more blessings too. And also one of our mods too, Ken Dog birthday was on Sunday as well. We was also celebrating too. It was a crazy busy weekend, but now it's time to get back to the work. It's time to get back. We got a lot of things to talk about. First thing first, we're going on to sports. Jordan, what's going on when it comes to aspect of sports news, big dog?
Let's get into it. Let's get into it. So we have some bad news that happened in the sports in the NFL. We had two of the biggest superstars they both tore the ACLs. The first one is Patrick Mahomes. One of the best quarterbacks in the game. He suffered a torn ACL, and then also with that, they are eliminated for the playoffs. So that was a devastating loss because of Kansas City Chiefs. And also the linebacker Michael Parsons for the Green Bay Packers. He also suffered a torn ACL by playing the Denver Broncos, and how he tore his was a non-contact injury. So with these, big superstars getting these season-ending injuries, this will not just affect this year, but also will affect next year because with how the healing process, either they might come back either late in the season or they might just miss the next season this next season period of next season. So this is really terrible news to see in the NFL to see these superstars because of the quarterback and for the linebacker pass rusher position that these players, suffer injuries, which it does happen in the NFL. But I'm gonna pass it on to you, Ronnie. So my question is, when it comes to the future long term, when it comes to this year, next year, do you believe it hurts the Kansas City? When it comes to long term, when it comes to the team, or does it hurt the Green Bay Packers because they're also in the Super Bowl window? And the first with this injury, it looks like they're not going to make it this year. We don't know about next year. So which team think it affects the most because of one of these stars with this injury?
There you have it, folks. The Kansas City Chiefs seasons are done. They are done. They are finished. We knew that was the day was going to come, and it finally came. They dynasty is pretty much done. So Kelsey could go ahead and retire. Mahomes could really sit this season out because he have a torn ACL, so he can just rest some and prepare for next year. But everybody knew the Kansas City Chiefs didn't have it this year. You can see like they pretty much whole all around was pretty much disbobulated as a team and his entirety. So you had Worthy, went in and out, Rice in and out. So many key players was in and out, and Kelsey, who knew what his mind is at, but there was a alleged that saying that the American sweetheart Taylor Swift is the alleged pregnant. So his mind is who knows. So, but we knew it was a time coming, so we knew that was gonna happen. Now, when it came to Michael Parsons, to be honest with you, Green Bay still have a chance of pretty much going to the playoff and probably still getting out the number 2 seed if they continue to go the direction they're going. But after the devastating loss yesterday, they're gonna bounce back. Michael Parsons might as well sit his season out too as well because a torn ACL is nothing to play around with. Because I can pretty much end your career, pretty much eternally be done with it. But they still have a better chance of going to the playoffs. So they still optimistic about pretty much doing what they're doing. But the Kansas City Chiefs is done. But Green Bay still have pretty much still have a run in to be in the contender for the playoffs. So shout out to them. But Marcus Parsons need to rest out too as well, man. These guys are prone to injury, man. But go ahead, Akeem.
I want us to take this and look at the changing of the times. They're just not what they used to be. They're getting older. Um, they're getting when you see injuries like this, you could tell people are going to be retiring soon. I just don't think they have it. I think Patrick Mahomes after a torn ACL, we all know minimum maybe 5 years left in the league, if that. You know what I mean? So I just you know what I mean. Hopefully, I would want to see what they're going to, but it's crazy to see them at this point.
Yeah, it's and the weird thing is that this, if you look at the NFL, it's been a lot of injuries. We see a lot, not just Patrick Mahomes and also Michael Parsons, but we see like a lot of some stars who went out. Tyreek Hill, he went out. He had an injury. Malik Neighbors, a big time wide receiver from the New York Giants, he went out and everything. So I don't know if it's the turf or something, anything like that. But it's like in this era, we see a lot more of these injuries that come to these players and everything. And I think it needs to be checked on that. Well, going to Patrick Mahomes and everything, it's to me, it's kind of more similarities because if you look at the years it's been in, like I think Tom Brady in his 8th year, he suffered his ACL after he went to I think he went to the Super Bowl. And it's kind of similar when it comes to Patrick Mahomes. Like I said, when it comes to Madison is at the best ever. I think the guy's gonna recover. Definitely gonna miss out, go to off season, miss out, also recovering everything. I think with the Kansas City Chiefs, I think we're gonna see a new regime come to Kansas City Chiefs, like we saw with the first half of the New England Patriots. I believe, Kelsey's gonna retire. I believe, when it comes to a lot of players on the Kansas City Chiefs, I definitely we're gonna see a lot of trades when it comes to Kansas City Chiefs, and we're just going to see another switch of the ties in the next couple of years for the Kansas City Chiefs. And then also when it comes to the Green Bay Packers, you're right, Ronnie. They still can make the playoffs and everything, but going to the Super Bowl, and which a lot of people have them going, it's just Michael Parsons really, really that X factor that a lot of people think that it goes to Super Bowl, and I think with that, you know, they might fall short on that. So for both these players, just keep healthy in the off season and make sure recover as much as you can. And then after that, either it depends on how both the teams are. If the teams are coming up, come back to later the season and play. If not, I'll redshirt them both. Then just wait for 2026 and come 2027.
Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right hand side. Remember to click all because we do go live each and every day at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Like I always, shout out to everybody that's watching us all across the board. We really do greatly appreciate you guys for tuning in on this Fresh Start Monday. Moving along to money. Money makes the world go round. Money makes our pockets fat. Jordan, what's going on when it comes to aspect of financial news, big dog?
Let's get into it. This topic I really like to talk about because when it comes to the finance department, is really going to talk about cars, and it shows that when it comes to the new average of people put a financing on new cars, it has been an all time high of people when comes to new cars that the average price has really really gone up. And even though a lot of people really really want cars, it just shows that where the time we is and how car prices when it comes to new cars has rose up and everything, and people are paying a lot of money when it comes to financing a car. So we do have a clip when it comes to it. So go ahead and play the first 3 minutes of it, and after that we'll chop it up.
Fox Business Alert, new car prices are in overdrive. According to car market data provider Edmunds, the average monthly payment for a new vehicle is at an all-time high of $766. Again, average monthly payment. I know a lot of you are paying more. The average amount financed is also topping a record at $43,218. These costs are pushing car shoppers to the used car market in droves, where Carvana, AutoNation, and CarMax all operate. And you can see all of them are trading higher month to date. We've got Carvana up 25%, AutoNation up 4.5%, CarMax up 7.5%. But the market has yet to really notice a less crowded play in the auto sector. Valvoline operates 2,300 car servicing stores that provide everything from oil changes to battery replacement and tire checks. All things used car owners need. With me now, company CEO Lori Fleece. She's here in a Fox Business exclusive on Valvoline's Investor Day. This is not new to you, that used cars, people are turning to them because they can't afford new ones. How is that affecting your stores?
Absolutely. Used cars, people are holding on to their cars longer and trading into used cars because they can't afford a new one. And what that means is they want to maintain their vehicle for as long as they can. Older cars need more maintenance. That means higher revenue opportunity for companies like ours.
And are you seeing the numbers of people coming in droves, or is it just starting at the moment?
Oh, no, we've been seeing this for a long time. The age of cars has been growing over the last 10 years. It's now over 12 years. The average American owns a vehicle that's 12 years old.
Nearly 13. I mean, back in 2015, the average age was something like 11 years, and now it's nearly 13.
That's right. And so instead of trading up into a new car in those loans and payments that you talked about, it's much cheaper to maintain a vehicle that you have. And that's exactly where we're focused.
And how does the whole shift, at least partial shift, it was way more fast with momentum before President Trump ended the tax incentives for electric vehicles, but people started buying electric vehicles that really, I guess, on the surface didn't need maintenance because they didn't need oil changes, but they still do need tires, et cetera. What are you seeing now that President Trump has ended those EV subsidies?
I think the growth in EVs has really dropped off, and the interest in them has dropped off since the subsidies were removed. The penetration of EVs in the car park is less than 2% today, and it's not projected to grow that much more in the next 3 years. Now, all vehicles need maintenance. Even EV drivers say that they need to maintain their vehicle, and some of that needs to be more than just the battery health. So maintenance providers will provide maintenance to any vehicle, regardless of powertrain, but the growth in EVs has definitely slowed.
And what's your hybrid business like?
We have a very strong hybrid business. The penetration in our stores, or the penetration of the car park, is nearly as high as it is for ICE vehicles. It looks like the demographic of hybrids.
Valvoline is a brand I can remember as long as I've been alive. How long has it been around, and how has it changed in this new world?
So the history of Valvoline started almost 160 years ago when the first motor oil was created. And Valvoline has always been known for quality and innovation in automotive care. And in 1986, that's when we opened our first store to actually give people a high quality customer experience in maintaining their cars.
So there you go. So there was like a little clip that we showed about when it comes to people, paying a new average when it comes to over $700. People that when it comes to these new cars and everything, a lot of people can't afford it. So go ahead, Ronnie, man. What you think of the problem of why you think the average cars the people are buying these new cars, and why the average is so high?
That is correct. People cannot afford it. That's the only reason why people are going to use cars. And like why I say shout out to him, because the majority of people can only afford used cars, and that's a fact. It is a statistical fact, and it's a fact all across the board. It's no debating that. Expensive car, brand new car right now. If you buy a brand new car, pretty much I think a monthly payment around $1,200. Around $1,200, $1,600 a month, and that's not including their insurance. We just talking about just the pay the monthly car payment a month. So the goal to get a used car that might cost you $700 or $400, why not go ahead and do it? Not only that, people love their used cars. Like me, I have a used car right now. I've been having that car for about 10 years, and it still runs in good shape. I'm not gonna trade it in for nothing. To me, I learned the whole Warren Buffett concept: ride it till you can't ride it no more. So I think that's the best way for a lot of Americans to go. But for those Americans that do have the money, goods to you. But some people they don't have it. Go ahead, I can't.
So I've always rode new cars. I just didn't see the use of having car payments. But I know there's instances where some people have no choice. But your debt to income ratio is tied into that. To see this only makes sense This is why used car prices have went higher than usual. Something you usually can get for 1,000 to 2,500 is not $5,000 because so many people are in the market now. So many people don't want car notes. Who's going to pay $766 per month and then four to $500 for insurance? That's $1,000 a month. When the medium minimum wage is still $15. Some people make it 16 or 18. So taking those count in the fact that it's just the juice not worth the squeeze. I'm always ride used cars. I don't until I'm not here anymore because I'm not going to tie my wealth into vehicles.
Yeah, when it comes to people, and this is what I kind of see and everything. When people, if you got poor credit, you can't afford to get a new car, and you're gonna see your payments going high and everything. And also with that, your interest is gonna be high too when it comes to these new cars. But your interest is gonna be high because there's some car dealership will hit you with above 6, 7, 8, 9% interest rate when it comes to getting these cars and everything. So and the thing is like we are definitely at a time when it's important you really get to use car and everything. And just really, really ride it until you can't ride it no more and everything until something breaks down the engine or transmission or anything. It's just we're at the time right now. But yeah, people, this when it comes, if you do get a new car, this means smart about, make sure your credit is good, make sure you put a good amount of down payment, to get the good car and everything. And also make sure, the car dealership, they don't cheap you out and everything because, you don't have to go to the one car dealership, you could, if you got to see what other car dealership got, new, brand new car dealership, not just like the third party, like a Chevrolet or Toyota, make sure you have the option what you can afford. So if you do that, what kind of payments you can afford and everything. So but yeah, man, cars it's only gonna get higher. Especially if you got an EV car, that's really gonna put some money on you and everything. So people, if you can't afford a new car, if you and your credit's not really really good, and it's no problem getting a used car. If you can pay 2 or 3 thousand for a car from for a third party, just do that. You don't have to be stunning and everything. Make sure to show some of your family and friends or your coworkers say, hey, I got a new car and everything because you're just gonna put yourself into deep deep debt.
We head into as we head into the holiday season. People will just be mindful, be wise on how the budget is very important, especially next year when you get your tax season because it is almost income tax season. I know a lot of people pretty much use that time to buy you brand new cars or used cars. Just be mindful and do your research, man. Carfax is really good. I know people don't mention it a lot, but Carfax is really good when it breaks down some information, especially when it comes to used cars. I like Carfax. White High also came through. White High said that's the majority of people can afford is used cars, which is a fact. That's it. There's no comparison to that. Also, White High also say buy or finance your car through your own personal bank or credit union. That's also a fact too as well. Great way to build your credit. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right hand side. Remember to click all because we do go live each and every day at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Shout out to everybody that's watching us all across the board. We really do greatly appreciate you guys for tuning in on this Fresh Start Monday. Shout out to also legendary Eda Man is also in the building. Shout out to him, man. We really do greatly appreciate you for being here. We really do greatly for you for being here. Moving along to hip hop. Hip hop. Jordan, what's going on when it comes to aspect of hip hop news, big dog?
Let's get into it. Let's talk about Ti. So Ti was on Kurt Franklin podcast, and the church topic has coming to the topic because of Ti, and he basically explains of how he really doesn't connect with the church, and he see the church as being a business of taking money from people. So we do have a clip from Ti. So go ahead and play the clip. And after that, we'll chop it up.
I've never been like a church person. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in a house with a strong, praying, tambourine bumping grandmama. You know what I'm saying? My auntie, strong, very, very strong in prayer. So I know how to pray and I know the word. You know what I'm saying? I know God is real and I've seen the presence in the hand that he's had in my life personally. Don't nobody ain't got to tell me that. But I just ain't never felt the connection with church.
Why?
Man, I just don't know. It just ain't. To be honest with you, I don't think it's real. You know what I'm saying? I think that it's a business just like anything else. And it's a show just like anything else. You know what I mean? Just like you go to Broadway, you see a show. I feel like it's just like somebody standing up and public speaking, just like you get like a TED talk. And a lot of times they be putting a lot of cap on it. And when I say cap, I'm saying cap in the action. The word is the word, but sometimes they try. I've never been trying to twist the word, make the word mean something, you know, that will be personally benefiting to them, and not necessarily what the word mean, you know, as its purpose. And that to me, because if you think about it, in only times when you read the word, anybody know the word, and you study the life of Jesus Christ, the only time you really saw Jesus Christ lose his temper was in the church. When he went to the church and seen what was going on in the church, seeing how the church people were handling the word of God and what they were doing to manipulate it, to personally benefit, you know, from the word of God. That's when Jesus got mad, flipping table.
Oh, that's when he flipped the table.
Yeah, flipping table. You know what I'm saying? And he had Jesus out here like he don't love hip hop. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But that's why 'cause I connect with the word, like the true word, the spirit. I don't need no broker. I don't need no middleman. I don't need nobody to get my word. You know, I done heard the preacher, I done trying to twist the word in the church before, and the preacher say, come on, y'all, put it to the collection plate, dig deeper, get your prayers past the ceiling. I say, hold up, wait a minute. Y'all telling me I got to pay this joker, you know what I'm saying, for my God to hear my prayer? Man, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
that's unfortunate. Like that. Those moments are unfortunate. I
mean, they are, and I'm not, and I don't put that on the entire, because I think for the most part, there are people who are strong, church-going, God-fearing people that go to church with the intention of serving and praising God. However, you know, I think there's some leadership, there's enough people in enough positions that understand that there is ways to manipulate this word to personally benefit.
So yeah, so that was T.I. explaining about, you know, how, you know, he doesn't connect with the church. So with that being said, Ronnie, what's your take on it?
A lot of people feel those same ways here. I feel when it comes to aspect of the church. A lot of people think church is big business, but one thing the reason why a lot of people do go to church, to be honest with you, is the number one thing is because of fellowship. They like to be among other people that have the same similar faith that they do. So, you know, someone like T.I. who probably was raised in a black church. So have I, and probably I came to you too, Jordan, as well. We know how that people always talk about the number one thing is the gathering. It's a fellowship with one another. It's to get to know each other, and as the same as you getting to know the presence of the Lord or God Himself. So, you know, people are always going to tend to have a mixed emotion about the church. You know, I have mixed emotion when it comes to the aspect of the church, but however, it's not for everybody. And I think that way people have to realize church is not for everybody. When you try to force that upon people, that's when it's starting to become a problem. But church is not for everybody. Everybody sometimes like to do church in their own private home, read the word, and they call it a day. Live their own spiritual faith. But it is what it is. Go ahead, Akeem. Your thoughts on it. You're muted.
I don't like to hear rappers talk about God and these guys don't know nothing about it. Like, it's just insulting to hear when he say that, and he's never really sat in church, never been to church. You can say, I can see what the word has done for me. Granted, everybody got their own opinion about it. You feel me? It's the same thing about people going to the masjid. A lot of these guys are talking, they're just speaking out their ass. We need religion. Religion is a focal point for our life. If it wasn't real or we didn't need it, no, like it wouldn't have been here. You feel what I'm trying to say? So when these guys here with these obscure opinions and stuff like that, I look at T.I., he just sounds smart to a dumb guy. That's all. I'll land right there.
For me, I've been to many churches, in my life. There's some churches I like. There's some churches I stay for like a couple years. And some churches I'm like, all right, I like it. Stay for a week, and then I turn away and everything. So, there are some churches, that likes to entertain, likes to take your money and everything. And there's some churches, they're real about the fellowship. They really about, hey, if you want to join a family, come ahead and everything. We'd love to have you and everything. And there's a lot of churches out there where you could like, or there's some churches they might deceive you and everything. So For some sense, I kind of agree with T.I. was saying about some churches from my experience and everything. But Hakeem, you do have a point about about T.I. and everything. He, even though he went viral for this and everything, I think it should be the people for their own people to judge, the church they're going to or the church they have been to in the past, or if they think it's for entertainment or is it more about the fellowship and everything. So for people, I hear what T.I. is saying, but make sure you have your own opinion about the church, what type of church that you go to, or what type of church that you're looking for as well, and everything. So there are some things that's true about it. Some things that like, hey, I don't know about the church and everything. I don't think it's cool for me.
Jordan Hurdham is also in the building. Blessed be upon you. People forget that church is actually within you and how you speak with your God, which is absolute fact. But remember, people choose to do whatever they feel their heart be led to. So I don't really knock it, and I can't really get too much. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right-hand side. Remember to click all, because we do go live each and every day at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Shout out to everybody that's watching us on Facebook, Instagram, Kick, and also Twitch, TikTok, Bingo Live, Rumble, you name it. Thank you guys so very much for coming through, showing us love and support, or especially on this Fresh Start Monday. White House also came in when he came to Asheville. Churches pay no taxes, although they have electric and other bills to keep the building up to standards, which is fine. We know churches don't pay no taxes, but still, to me, if you attend that congregation, why not, give them a 10% to keep the lights on, even though they don't pay no taxes. This is my personal beliefs. Moving along, man. We got a lot of things to cover, man. Over the weekend, man, it was a lot of shootings. First thing first, we're going over there in Australia. Go ahead, Jordan. What's going on when it comes to aspect of Australia, man? The man shooting over there.
Yeah, so we're gonna go down there in Australia. So we found out there was a big mass shooting, and when it comes to Australia, and it comes to find out these shooters was a father and a son who was shooting and deleting a lot of people in Australia. So we do have a clip on this. Our prayers go down in Australia. So go ahead and play a clip, and after that we'll chop it up.
Tonight in Australia, horror and heroism. Thousands running for their lives down Sydney's famous Bondi Beach. As police say, two shooters, a father and son, opened fire with long guns on a Jewish community event celebrating the first night of Hanukkah. At least 15 people were killed, including a 10-year-old girl and a Holocaust survivor, and around 40 more wounded in what authorities say was a targeted terrorist attack.
An act of evil anti-Semitism, terrorism, that has struck the heart of our nation.
Of the two gunmen, the father was killed, police say. His 24-year-old son in custody in critical condition. 3 law enforcement sources tell NBC News the son's name is Naveed Akram.
I think what was the most shocking was how long the gunfire lasted. The shots were going on for ages, multiple minutes.
This is the moment a bystander leapt into action, wrestling what appears to be a shotgun from one of the attackers. His name is Ahmed Al-Ahmed, a father of 2 who owns a nearby fruit shop, according to Australia's Channel 7. His family says he was shot in the hand and arm.
We hope he will be fine. He's a hero. 100% he's a hero.
Tonight, his bravery is being hailed worldwide, including by the president.
And saved a lot of lives, so very brave person who's right now in the hospital.
Israel's prime minister accusing Australia's leader of being weak on anti-Semitism.
You let the disease spread, and the result is the horrific attacks on Jews we saw today.
Among the dead, Rabbi Eli Schlanger.
Joy and happiness, prosperity.
A representative of the Chabad Jewish organization, remembered for his commitment to spreading joy.
Raf is joining us now. And in Australia, Raf, gun deaths are relatively rare. This is a place with strict gun laws. And we're learning one of the shooters did have a gun license.
Yeah, Hallie, police are saying the father had legally purchased 6 guns. They found some of them at the crime scene. Others they recovered during a raid at the shooter's family home. Police also saying they disarmed 2 rudimentary bombs they found in a car parked at the scene of the shooting. Hallie.
We thank you.
Yeah, man, just a total tragic of what happened in Australia, man. And like I said, prayers and families go out to the people that lost their lives. Other than that, Ronnie, man, what's your take on this?
A lot of evil people in the world, especially being in Australia, will have one of the strictest gun laws. One of the strictest gun laws. So it's not that easy to go over there and purchase a gun. For them to be able to purchase a firearm and how many firearms that they need to do a deep dive investigation when it comes to certain things like that, because they gun law do not play over there. They would send you to even the death penalty if that becomes the case. And now the attack on the Jewish community, is to me is always sickening. It's always been like they always hate those group of people. Me, I don't have a problem with those group of people, but society put it to make it seem like, oh, it's something wrong with those people, and then people need to be annihilated. To me, that's not right. I think at the end of the day, the people have the right to celebrate, especially when it comes to Hanukkah this coming week, and then for them to do something like that in Australia, very, very tragic. That guy is a hero. The guy that arrested the gunman, to me, he did a better job than the policeman over there in Australia, because they took it forever to come. To me, that we need more hero people like that too as well. I would say I don't mind certain people that have guns. To me, if you do something like that, take them down. To me, they should. I don't know why they kept the son alive. I would have deleted the son too. But it's just my opinion. I would have deleted the son too. So they make a testimony and not to do that ever again. Go ahead, Ike.
I want people to know that a lot of people thought that gun violence was only contained to America. It's all over the world now. And it's now going to be even more strict. And this is going to build more bigotry towards foreigners. Because when they find out who these people are, because if I'm not mistaken, I think they were Pakistani. You feel me? And then we had the shooting here. It's going to be a different time. We're in a different space right now. Shout outs to Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum. You have done Allah's work. We do not see race or creed as a Muslim. We protect all. And I pray that this doesn't divide us even more than what we already are.
Yeah, man, it just shows that not just here in America, but wherever you at, there's always somewhere lurking where there's people that's pure evil that will hate on another race or hate just for another religion. And it's just so pure that they will delete that person when it comes to race or religion. And you see how what the terror that what happened in that beach area when it comes to 100 people was there. I had to see it. I had to see bodies that's been deleted and everything. It's very, very tragic, and it's disgusting to see stuff like this. Yeah, man, it just shows that, yeah, man, people, wherever you, not just here in America, we're all over the world, when it comes to open spaces, beaches, malls, in the city, just gotta really, poke your ears up and really look and pay attention, because anything can happen. And I just pray for more peace in the world, because it's just Ronnie. I mean, how can you right? We're seeing a era that people, because of these mass shootings, this is happening more and more and more. And we're seeing a lot of people, being scared to really go out and go somewhere shopping, do some fun activities, something outside, or even a birthday party. What happened in California long ago too. It's just we're seeing a lot of this and everything. So people just really pay attention out there, and really, really be safe. Really, really be safe.
And also, shout out to No Chase. That's also in the building. People were trying to say for the longest, gangs was a cause of gun violence. No, people is the cause of gun violence. Gangs don't have nothing to do with it. It's part of our nature to be violent, and that's the problem. That's the problem. Moving along to other trending news, Jordan, what's going on when it comes to aspect of John Cena final retirement match?
Yes, so we are. John Cena said, 2025 will be his last year of wrestling, and this past Saturday, he had his final match, which he has lost. Pretty much, all great superstars, from the past, from Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, even the Undertaker. when it comes to their last matches, they usually lost. But yeah, seeing John Cena, that was his final match. And after that, he has officially retired from the WWE. So we do have a clip on him, thanking all his fans at the ring after the match. Then after that, we'll chop it up.
John's in it. Sorry, Gunther, not tonight. One last chance. And now just pummeling with blows to the jaw and again into the sleeper hold. Just those primitive instincts of Gunther kicking in as bloodthirsty as you like. Gunther is feasting on the carcass of John Cena's career. John Cena has tapped out.
So he lost the match. That was his tapped out towards retirement. So other than that, Ronnie, man, do you have any memories of you the wrestler? What 23 years? Is there any memories you have of John Cena?
I'm gonna be honest. I was never a big John Cena fan. I'm just be honest. I was never a big John Cena fan. I was more of a
Same here.
Undertaker, Stone Cold,
Macho Man, Ted DiBiase.
Hulk Hogan.
We old school. That's what it is.
I'm not really much of a John Cena fan. But I knew The Rock gave him the torch after The Rock, retired from his reign at one time, but I was never a fan. But a lot of people say that the match was BS. No changes came in. He said the match was BS. A lot of people are speculating that to the point that what was Gunner pretty much left the arena. They were trying to fight him. We ain't got that clip. But yeah, it is what it is. But every champion reign comes to an end. You see what happened with the Chiefs. Their reign came to an end, and now John Cena reign came to an end as well. And now he's passing on the torch. That's how it is, man. But at the end of the day, we will see John Cena again in the ring because he's owned by WWE. He's gonna come at any time they want him to be there. But shout out to him, man. I'm just curious what he's gonna end up doing. He's gonna do what Triple H did and Shawn Michaels as well, be involved with when it comes to aspect of creating director. I'm just curious, but shout out to him. He had a wonderful run. 17-time champion. That's really good, man. Go ahead, Akeem.
Just like you, man, I'm not a fan. I was never a fan of him. He came later. So I'm an 80s baby. So all the guys from the 80s, I never even really liked his personality nor his wrestling style. So that's it. I assume he might just continue acting, but that's really all I got to say about him.
Yeah, John Cena we wrestled for 23 years. I remember his first duet. He came out versus Kurt Angle. I do remember that match. He's like I said, but John Cena, like I said, I'm more in the Attitude Era. So the Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, The Undertaker, that's me and everything. So, but what John Cena did, really taking the torch and going to the WWE entertainment and really, and also they changed eras and everything, and then leaning on John Cena when it comes to being kid friendly and everything. And kids really, really love John Cena and everything. He really took that torch and really made it, WWE entertainment. And so I do give John Cena that. So I think one of my favorite memories with John Cena when I think it was 2009 when he had a big comeback because Royal Rumble and nobody thought he was coming out and everything. That's the only one memory I have of John Cena. But like I said, he is one of the greats. It's hard for me to say that because I think there's a lot of other great wrestlers. But if you want to put John Cena up there when it comes to him taking taking the towel and really being that superstar when it comes to the kids and everything, and like the young millennials and also the Gen Zs and everything, they gonna say John Cena is the best ever and everything. So which is a good thing. So But yeah, man, John Cena had a good run. I'm with you. I can't think he's gonna be in more movies and everything. You know, maybe he'll take a front. Maybe you might be right, Ronnie. Maybe he'll take a front off his job because it doesn't entertainment or anything. But you know, and I would say there's no chaser. Like I said, the greats that their final matches they lost. The Ric Flairs, the Shawn Michaels, Undertakers, Batista. You know, they all lost of a BS match and everything. But other than that, congrats to John Cena. Had a wonderful career, and he will be in the he definitely will be in the WWE Hall of Fame for sure.
Chase, I was just say I didn't watch the WWE that much, but John Cena leaving means I'm getting old. LOL. Yep.
We all getting old. Yeah.
So it's a new reign coming in. I knew I was getting old after Shawn Michaels retired. And I was like, oh, you're about to be up.
Yeah.
There. So
that's right.
And the Undertaker. So it is what it is. WWE continue to revolutionize the world, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And they also did that deal with Saudi Arabia. So they doing big things.
Yeah.
Main topic on today's show, guys. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification bell on the right-hand side so you never miss it when we go live. So the director, Reiner, with his wife was stabbed in their LA home. Go ahead, Jordan. What's going on with that one?
Yeah, man. So this happened in my neck of the woods. So Rob Schneider and his wife was found stabbed to death in their Brentwood home, which was very, very shocking. And the main suspect that they found was that of their son. They had locked up a son, and he is on bail for $4 million, which I do not understand why he has any type of bail. But he is charged for the murder of both his father and his mother. So let's get into it. We do have a clip, and after that, we'll chop it up.
Overnight, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass and the family of Rob Reiner say the legendary Hollywood director and his wife, Michelle, have died. Sources tell ABC News Reiner and his wife were found stabbed to death in their Los Angeles home Sunday afternoon.
The Los Angeles Police Department is now conducting an investigation at this residence here on Chadbourne, and that investigation will continue over the coming days.
Officials say they are not seeking a suspect and no arrests have been made. According to a neighbor, actors Larry David and Billy Crystal, who starred in Reiner's film When Harry Met Sally, visited the home Sunday evening. The two staying briefly before leaving with the neighbor, saying Crystal looked like he was about to cry. The son of comedy icon Carl Reiner, Rob Reiner would forge his own path in Hollywood in the 1970s, playing Mike Stivick's son-in-law to Archie Bunker on the hit sitcom All in the Family.
I mean, haven't you ever gotten anything you didn't ask for?
After the show ended, Reiner turned to directing, making his debut with the mockumentary This Is Spinal Tap.
These go to 11.
He'd go on to make beloved classics, including The Princess Bride.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
And When Harry Met Sally.
I love that it takes you an hour and a half to order a sandwich.
And A Few Good Men.
You can't handle the truth.
And just earlier this year, Reiner's directing career coming full circle, writing and directing the sequel to Spinal Tap 41 years after the original. Overnight reaction to the shocking news rolling in. Actor Josh Gad calling Reiner one of the greatest directors of our time. He was simply a beautiful person. Director Paul Feig calling him a true visionary titan and a lovely, lovely person. And former President Barack Obama writing Reiner's career gave us some of our most cherished stories on screen. But beneath all of the stories he produced was a deep belief in the goodness of people. Rob Reiner was 78.
Oh no, you got another clip. Hold on.
Yeah, if they want to.
Did you want it?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good morning, everybody. It's Captain Mike Bland from Media Relations Division. As I discussed earlier with you guys, the Chief has agreed to give you an update on the tragedy at the Reiner family home. Just understand this is based on some updates of the tireless work of our investigators from last night and through tonight. We're still at the very early stages of this investigation, but again, Chief's prepared to answer any questions and give you a brief update. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you, Captain Bland. As he said, the information at this stage is still limited, but I'll share what we can. First of all, our hearts go out to the family and friends of the Reiners, a tragic incident. Yesterday at December 14th, about 3:40 in the afternoon, LAPD responded to a residence, the residence of Rob and Michelle Reiner, located in West Los Angeles Division. At that location, they found two deceased adults, a male and a female. Through the night, working with the coroner's office, they were able to identify them definitively as Rob and Michelle Reiner. We have our Robbery Homicide Division handling the investigation. They worked throughout the night on this case and were able to take into custody Nick Reiner, a suspect in this case. He was subsequently booked for murder and is being held on $4 million bail. Pretty much that's what I can share at this point, but again, a very, very tragic incident.
So yeah, man. Like I said, he's one of the decorated directors. Explains it all. But he also had 4 kids, which includes the son that, which is he's charged murder of 7, both the mother and the father. And so, with that being said, Ronnie, man, what is your take on this?
When it comes to a son unalive his parents, you got to go deep into that and see what exactly was going on. Was it drugs involved? Was it money? Was there abuse? We don't know. We got to wait until all the detective and the investigators finish doing with the report and let all the information come out, and also the trial too as well. It's sad to see that, man, because Rob Reiner was one of the biggest guys in Hollywood, biggest guys in show business, and people love to work with him. You saw that he did so many great films that are pretty much going down in Hollywood history. And for him to be gone, also his wife at their lovely home by their own son, it just show you the heart of man. Now I keep telling you that we are violent. It's not the gun, it's not the knives, not the weapons, not the gun. It's us as people. We are the violent ones, and I think we need to do better as people. And it's just sad to see that his son is pretty much might spend the rest of his life in prison. Oh, hopefully not. Might get the death penalty, depending on how severe the crime was. It's sad, man. Go ahead, I don't even have no words for it.
For a lot of people don't know, his son had been struggling with substance abuse.
I figured drugs.
What? He has been out of rehab since a young age. So he has been there, but like a loving father and mother, they stood with him. And he had been living homeless for a while. He had just got back to the house recently. He had did a movie. He co-wrote a movie with his father's connections. And he's actually not a bad writer. But here's the thing, man. Check on your loved ones. And I'm going to say something that might not a lot of people like. If you know somebody's suffering from substance abuse, you can't keep them around you because your life could be in danger. You got to separate them, put them in a different house. It could be a loved one or something, because if you got other kids you got to worry about, you got to make sure they straight. So the ones who are suffering, I know they might not like to hear this, but it's not safe to keep the ones who are drug addicts around you. Put them in rehab, keep them there, go visit them, but don't allow them to come to your home for safety reasons.
Absolutely. When it comes to that, they could definitely be unstable, and and their mind is just in a different place and everything. And with him, with his son being the mindset that he had to go to the far of taking, being charged with murder and taking both his parents' lives. It's just sad. And the thing is, he has siblings. He has other brothers and sisters as well. So that whole family, it's just very, very sad to hear stuff like this when it comes to family problems, because this stuff like this, like you hear from movies and everything when it comes to family drama or family, deleting another family and everything. But yeah, man, it's really, really sad to hear. When I first heard this, it happened and everything in Brentwood, I'm like, wow, this is tragic. But yeah, man, very, very sad to see. You taking your life for your parents, man. It's just that's just a lot. That's very a lot. But prayers go out, to the siblings and the family, and yeah, man, just sad to see the director and the wife go out like that. at an old age like that. It should never been happen like shouldn't happen in that way.
Whew, there's so many crazy things that was going on over the weekend, man. Another crazy thing that went over the weekend, Jordan, was going on with another mass shooting over there at Brown University.
Yeah, so there was another mass shooting that comes to Brown University in Rhode Island. So they say the shooter was wearing all black. The shooter is still at large. They still haven't found a shooter, but it's happened at another school in university when it comes to another mass shooting. So we do have a clip on this. So go ahead and play the clip, and after that, we'll chop it up.
Regular programming with an update on the mass shooting at Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island. A massive manhunt is underway at this hour for an active shooter. Authorities describe the suspect as a man dressed all in black. An official telling ABC News that the shooting occurred in a classroom where a study group was taking place. 2 people have died, 9 people were hurt. 1 is in critical condition and 6 others are critical but stable. Governor Daniel McKee saying a short time ago that they will catch this individual that has brought harm to so many. There's a massive police presence on the Brown campus. Federal, state, and local authorities all searching for that shooter. Faculty and students are being told to shelter in place, to continue to shelter in place. Brown sending several emergency alerts. People on campus instructed to lock doors, silence their phones, and remain hidden. Officials say the first reports of an active shooter came in around 4 this afternoon at the engineering building where a final exam was underway. The school's winter break begins 1 week from today. President Trump has been briefed on the situation, calling it, quote, a terrible thing. Let's go now to Erica Tarantal she's the anchor from our Boston affiliate, WCVB. She's on the scene.
Andrew, I'm Erica Tarantel with WCVB TV out of Boston in Providence on the campus of Brown University, just blocks from where this mass shooting unfolded shortly after 4 o'clock in the afternoon. This happened in an engineering building on the Brown University campus. We now know that 2 people were killed and 9 others injured when a gunman opened fire inside that building and then, according to a witness, walked out. The only description we have of that suspect is that it is a man who was wearing all black, and there is now an all-out manhunt for that suspect throughout the city of Providence. Here by campus, by the heart of the city, we're seeing buses as they're picking up students who have been sheltering in place for more than 5 hours now, finally being reunited with their families as tactical crews are staged just outside of campus, waiting for word of any sighting of this suspect. Residents, businesses, they've been asked to look for all surveillance as they try to find where this gunman may have gone after leaving the building where this all unfolded. It is terrifying here in the city. Outside of campus, as you drive in, you can see that people have their lights off, their doors locked, as this shelter in place is still very much in effect. Andrew, back to you.
All right, Erica, thank you. Just moments ago, authorities released the video of the individual they believe is the suspect. Take a look right there, dressed all in black, walking away. This is the only video so far that authorities have released to the public that they say is the suspect there. He was caught on camera walking on Hope Street and taking a right turn on Waterman Street. Meanwhile, students on
Yep, so they say that is a suspect, and he right now is still at large. So another mass shooting going down, and comes into school. So other than that, Ronnie, man, what's your take on it?
See, this is why I have a problem when it comes to the aspect of the authorities, right? They able to identify the guy on camera, okay, but if you said a strange guy walking around after a mass shooting, why didn't go right there in that moment and go attain that person? The camera's right there pointing at them. It should have been immediately on the scene of the crime. Why always take them so very long for them to be at the scene of the crime? And I think this is the only reason why they're gonna really push for these robot cops to be everywhere, because of stuff like this. This is the reason why, because they don't be at the scene as fast as they should. This is a mass shooting going on. It takes them forever. And not only that, when it comes to university, don't they have police in the campus?
They have. So look, Brown University is an Ivy League. They get billions of dollars a year. They have their own police force, but there's still holes and cracks in a lot of these securities at the university, and more of these shootings are going to tighten these things up. And it's just sad that somebody was able to do this much damage and this much long. A police officer should have been there at all times. There's certain place that has an ongoing police force. But this shooting, I'm trying to tell you, these shootings are going to change the way we go about living forever. You're going to see a police officer everywhere. When you go to school, you're going to see guys with guns and all that. So it's like, it's crazy, but it's time for a change.
Not that, but they understand right now, and then not a lot of police in the workforce. But I'm telling you, the robot cops are coming. Tesla's working on it. They're coming. They're coming. For real, for real. Go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, and when it comes to this, you right. You know, when it comes to the a lot of these measures is going to change some things. You know, I think when it comes to either local law, state law, even federal law, really going to lean into when it comes to AI, when it comes to securities, all that type of things. Of if they might pass a law. Well, like I said, federal I might not see, but we might see maybe something in the state law or local law. I'm almost surprised if we see something here in California that we pass a local law somewhere in South California about enhancing some type of AI software where if we see a guy with a farm is prepared to about to pull it out, we're prepared to shoot something like that they'll take him out immediately, anything like that. So we might be really, really going through that route. I've been sad to see that we got to see all these mass shooters going around all parts of the country and everything. But yeah, man, this keep continuing to go on a rapid pace. Yeah, we might see some local laws or state laws to change about when it comes to these mass shootings, and it's not going to be pretty when it comes to some people out there when it comes to privacy laws like that. I think that's that's going to take effect if we see more of these mass shootings.
And like always, we always say here, please make sure you check up on your loved ones, because you never know. That might be the last time you see them on this face of this earth, the way this world's going. Moving on to the trending news, Jordan, what's going on with Beyonce's father, Matthew Knowles, say he doesn't receive enough credit.
Yeah, so Matthew Knowles was on a podcast and he speaks on the history he did with his daughter Beyonce, also Destiny's Child, and kind of speaks about he doesn't receive enough credit when it comes to really kind of building and helping their careers out back in the late 90s and comes to the 2000s and everything. So with that being said, we're gonna hear from Matthew Knowles himself, and after that, we'll chop it up.
Beyonce was the #1 female artist of the decade from 2000 to 2009. Don't take my word, just go research it. Guess who was the #1 female group in the world?
Destiny's Child.
Destiny's Child.
The name you own.
But the other part of that, if I was a white manager,
you'd be
I would be considered the #1 manager ever. So I never get that respect that's deserved.
Why do you think that is?
Because
Because you're her father?
he's black.
Or is it because you're her daddy too? You're black and
What
her
about
father.
all the other fathers? I don't think it's
They don't
that.
give a lot of fathers credit, bro, for what they've done.
Jessica Simpson's father.
But
They gave him credit?
I said for a father and being black. Because even if you look at Brandy's mother, like we all know that she was the beast behind the scenes.
Yeah.
They never talk
Even
about her.
Usher's mother.
Usher's mother.
They never.
These people are legacy acts, and their parents been their managers. So what would not make them a good manager?
Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, and NSYNC manager was black.
Jay Wright, yes.
I didn't
know. Yeah, Jay Wright is black.
Yeah, he
yes,
don't
I
get
know.
credit.
He don't. Yeah, sure.
So it's black first.
He don't. Yeah, it's black first then.
Because he's black
He
first,
definitely
and he's
don't
a
get
black
credit.
man.
And they talk about Scooter Braun,
But you know they
all
always
the time.
Scooter Braun. But just anytime it's a black man, it's luck.
Yeah.
But when it's another race, it's genius.
Exactly. Beyonce.
So there you have it. But I got a question for you guys. Do you put Matthew Knowles out there somewhere with a person like a Joe Jackson when it comes to managing and helping out careers?
Of course. He was pretty much the Joe Jackson at the time. He created a female group that pretty much was doing #1 hits. And now that what we have Beyonce right now to this day, the Beehive, he created that. Shout out to him and also his lovely wife at the time. So they did their thing. I think that is true what he is stating, that a lot of the black managers don't get enough credit. I think because we don't really pay too much attention to it as we should. And I think he's right. He do have a great point. I think we should give accolades to these people because they do work extremely hard to make sure we have a Beyonce, to make sure we have Destiny Child, to make sure we have the Backstreet Boys or the Ray J's, the Brandy. So we gotta give them credit when credit is due. They did work extremely hard, and he's absolutely right. I do agree with his opinion on that one. Go ahead, Akeem. Your thoughts on that because you are an artist. Go ahead.
I've been following Matthew Knowles for years. First off, quick backstory. Him and his wife ran hair salons in Houston, multi-million-dollar hair salon. His management and business acumens need to be studied. Music World, which he one founded, which he the one was the mastermind behind it, which he the one who negotiated the contracts, is the reason why Beyonce is the Ray, Kelly Rowland, Michelle. Why you think? He has made millions of dollars. Only reason why his name is tarnished, he doesn't get, because he had a scandal. He had that little scandal. He had a baby out of wedlock. But as far as his business concerned, you'll never see another manager like that. You'll never get another Beyonce like that. I do think there's a race component that does play into the music industry where when you're trying to go national and major. But if you were to stay in the Chitlin circuit, you'll get a lot of recognition. But I love him because he's one of my top 10 music moguls. Like, I even put him before Jay-Z and Dame Dash.
Yeah, I agree with you a lot, and it shows with Beyonce what she's doing right now, and kind of really passing it to Blue, her daughter, and everything. Um, yeah, Matthew knows is a genius. Business studies, his business and everything, how he created Destiny's Child, and really built Beyonce's career, and and just taking it to the next level. And to me, the reason I asked that question about is he up there with Joe Jackson? He's up there with Joe Jackson because look, you see what Joe did with Michael and everything. And then with Michael, he was big, and and he started buying, buying the Beatles masters and everything. He took that, and what's his name, Paul McCartney, wanted Michael to sell it, but he was like, oh hell no, I'm not doing that. And that really took it, and they took him over. They took Michael over the top. That Sony wanted to partner with Michael Jackson, which he almost owned 50% of Sony and everything. And to me, that was all for Joe Jackson. Now with Matthew Knowles, it comes to Beyonce be one of the biggest stars of all time. Internationally when it comes to tour sales and everything. Like, and you see how how Beyonce is going through genres and everything, taking over genres and everything, just all because of her father Matthew Knowles and everything. So it just shows that when you're a great businessman, you know how to build a group, and you put it into your child, and they take it to the next level. And now we see Beyonce take it to the next level and try to put it to Blue Ivy. It's a generational thing, and it all started with Matthew Knowles, and Matthew Knowles should definitely be celebrated with that.
Last time I'm gonna come to today's show, guys. Jordan, what's going on with Carlton passing away?
Yeah, so the great Carlton, as we know, is one of his big hits. She's a Bad Mama Gemma has passed away at the age of 72. He had a lot of hits. We all know him, and definitely in the Black community. And it's just sad to hear that we're losing another legend, that's known as Carlton. And may he rest in peace. And he's very one of really really good music man when it comes in the 70s and the 80s. So other than that, Ronnie, man, what's your take on this passing of Carlton?
He can rest easy. 72 is not to me is not bad. It's a good age to go ahead and lead this earth. Shout out to him. He had one of the biggest hits. You already know She's a Bad Mama Jama. And also have 72 more hits, which considered one of the icon of music marvel of all time. But shout out to him, man. I love his music. I'm gonna continue to listen to his music. And may he rest in peace, man. Good fight, man. Thank you so much for the great music. Go ahead, Hakeem.
I follow his son on TikTok, and his son announced it. And wonderful singer, a living legend. Um, um, y'all guys said this earlier when we was talking about the wrestling. We're getting older. We're getting older.
Mhm.
The 80s babies, we watch and seen these guys perform. Now these guys are not here, and we are here to take their place until we're gone. We have literally what, maybe a 20-year stretch before that's it. Let's make the best of it, like he did.
Facts.
She's a bad man, Majema.
Yeah, I know like I said, I know him. He was born and raised in the city of Detroit. So, when it comes to him hearing this music, I heard his music a lot and everything. And, I know, it's very, very sad to hear, that, his passing and everything. And, when it comes to people in Detroit, people are definitely going to be missing everything. He's done in that community. So, yeah, man, I'm definitely I played this song earlier today, and I'm definitely gonna play this song after the show is done. But yeah, but rest in peace to Carl Carlton, man. Stay easy, and prayers go out to his family.
Yes. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right-hand side. Remember to click all, because we do go live each and every day at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Like always, shout out to everybody watching us on Facebook, Instagram, Kit, and also Twitch, Rumble, X, TikTok. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in each and every time we go live. Bingo Live, we can't forgive you guys 1 second of a minute, man. We had over 70 people right now watching us on Bingo Live. We really do greatly appreciate you guys every time we go live. Guys, it's so very important. Go to KL Culture Radio description, in the description where you can find the KL Culture Radio story. That's where we have our merch. And also the link is also pinned on top of the chat as well. Click on it. It'll lead you guys right over to the merch where you can go and get your KL Culture Radio gear, the hats, the t-shirt, the coffee mug, you name it. It's all in the KL Culture Radio store. And also, guys, so very important, go to KL Culture Radio community post or post, they call it now. That's where we leave important information of when we go live. Also, happy birthday to Prince Akeem. His birthday was over the weekend. Shout out to him. And not only that, but it's also his book that's out now, Raising Kings and also Black Love. Hakeem, is your album out now? You put it in the community post.
So yeah.
Check it out.
I gotta put that on there.
Yeah, put the link in there so people can go and check it out, man. And y'all make sure y'all go and get this guy album, Broadway Fat, they call it, man. Not only that, man, we're gonna play some snippets throughout the week, man. I gotta gear it up. We're gonna play some snippets so you guys can listen to it on the way out. Like always, guys, thank you guys so very much for tuning in to KL Culture Radio. Fresh Start Monday. We'll be on and popping tomorrow. Like always, man.